Welcome back to Breakfast Television and another edition of Mom Talk, where today we're talking everything that is safety on the internet. Terry Cutler joining us, who's actually a certified ethical hacker. Now, I'm not making this name up. This is actually your title.
Real title, yeah.
Okay, and so we're talking about the internet, of course, and how safety is a very difficult thing for children. We're talking about fake profiles, people luring children in. How can we avoid this with children using Instagram, Facebook, so many sources at this time?
I think the first place to start is what's called a privacy checkup. It's where you go in and check how secure your profile is locked down. For example, we ran into a case where a 15-year-old was lured off from a party, but what happened was her profile was wide open, so he was able to see who the parents were and was able to block the parents before
being able to lure her in.
Exactly.
But how, as a parent, are you even able, or even as a child who doesn't really understand, how can you block your profile?
Yeah, it's very, very difficult because a lot of times, going back in the day, if our parents didn't like something we were watching on TV, they would walk in the room, change the channel, right? But now, with the kids being online, they're so much more savvy than their parents, and the parents just can't keep up. So they really have to get up to date on how this technology works.
Okay, and it's very dangerous out there. We're talking about young girls, people creating profiles online. There are adult male or adult females luring these kids in. Yeah. 15, 14-year-olds is what they're posing themselves to be. Not the case. Yeah. And you were telling me about a story about a young girl who went somewhere, lured by an adult, ended up being okay, thank goodness. But apart from luring children, what do hackers look for? What do they want?
A lot of times they're looking for confidential information on your computer. So for example, contact lists. Mm-hmm. So their goal is to scam your friends.
Right.
So you might have received an email saying, hey, I'm in the UK, I got mugged, can you please send me some money?
Right. Some people fall for that, believe it or not. Some people still fall for that.
But a lot of people are falling for the whole Microsoft scam. Hey, it's Microsoft, your computer's causing viruses, we're here to fix it, can you please let us remote in?
Right.
And once they remote in, they install a virus which actually locks down the computer and it prevents you from gaining access to it unless you pay a ransom, which is called ransomware.
Goodness. It's getting a little bit out of hand. And so apart from, for parents who are sitting down at home with their kids, some kids are just starting high school this year, and they're going to access the internet for the first time. What would be your best advice for children who are about to use the internet for the first time?
I think the number one rule, don't post nude photos, okay, because this will come back and haunt you. And do the whole netiquette thing, right?
And a lot of people think, of course not. But
right, it's
kids
happening.
Are doing it.
Oh yeah,
kids are doing it, guys.
Every school I've presented in, there's been situations. Yeah. And what happens is whenever you send out these photos, you no longer control it. So there's a whole thing called revenge porn. So where if you break up with a boyfriend or girlfriend later on, they can release these photos 10 years later, and next you know, if you're famous or whatever, it can come back and destroy your reputation.
So I'm sitting at home, I'm a parent, just like yourself, and I don't necessarily want to be all up in my kids' business 24/7. Some parents are saying, yes, you must be. Yeah. How do I control what they are seeing?
Okay.
What do I do? Are there programs? What do I do if I'm not computer savvy? What do I do?
There is. At least the first thing you should do is don't get over intrusive on them, because if they detect that you're overpowering them or you're spying on them, they're just going to unplug from their home computer and go to their school or their friend's house where they're unmonitored. But look for warning signs like are they being secretive? Every time you walk in a room, are they like hiding over their keyboard, or their mood changes after they've logged off? But if you do suspect something, there's tools like Norton Online Family and McAfee Safe Eyes, which allows you to monitor keystrokes and screenshots and get to see what they're doing online.
It's as though you're reading the kid's diary, but it's online now, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh my goodness, so much more to talk about here. I'd love for you to come back, because a lot of parents are really worried about safety online for their kids. So thank you so much for joining us this morning, Terry.